Welcome to the broadcast special segment Learn from the Pros. In this episode, we are going to see a brilliant example on how to attack the uncastled king, performed by the Tiger of Madras former world champion Viswanathan Anand. The game is from 2003, Dortmund Vichy with the white pieces against Viktor Bologan. You can already see that something went wrong for black in the opening. His king is still in the center while white has already castled and he has his rook on the e5, the queen on f5. These pieces are all developed and very well placed. What he would need to do is bring the rest of his pieces, the bishop and the other rook, into play. As for black, he would love to castle, so he wants to go bishop b7 and castle queenside at some point. But it's white to move, and Vichy will act quickly because there are three things you should really do when the opponent's king is still in the center. That is, you should open up the position, you should bring as many attacking pieces as possible, and you should be quick. Act as fast as possible. You cannot give time to your opponent to finish his development. That's why here the strongest move is h4, and this is of course what Vichy played. So if g takes h4, you develop your bishop with a tempo, very important. And now, for instance, if queen d8, you have a very nice sacrifice, a rook sacrifice to open the position, after which you either win the rook back or you give mate after king f8, bishop d6. So easy. So the h4 pawn cannot be captured. Black played king f8. Now our queen is hanging, we have to move it. Queen h3, rook h8 was played so that the queen will be hanging after g takes, but doesn't matter. Now queen g4 and the pawn is hanging anyway. Oh, what an arrow, let's draw it from the knight. Black played c5, after which, well, you can defend this pawn on d4, but it's much better to develop. That's why bishop takes g5 is the best move in this position. C takes d4. We've got equal material on the board, but you can see that the black king is still suffering, and also black's pieces are undeveloped. What's going on with me today? So there's only one white piece that remains, that is still not active, which is, of course, the a1 rook, and that's why we bring it right now. All the white pieces are developed, they are all well placed, and they will act as soon as possible, which is like right now. So after bishop b7, when you have all your pieces in the best possible location and your opponent has weaknesses like the king, he couldn't castle and there are not many defending pieces around the king, that's usually the moment for tactics, and this is where Vichy took on e6 with the rook. This rook sacrifice really works. Let's see why. Rook takes e6, f takes, and now another sacrifice, because it's not just that you open the position, but you should also see why this rook sacrifice was good at all. Bishop e7 check. So he sacrificed the rook first and now the bishop. If black goes king f7, then queen g6 will eventually lead to the same position as the game. So we will capture this bishop, but still it is rook down, isn't it? King d6, and it doesn't seem like there's mate. White is not mating yet. But you know that you need to open the position, and this rook on the d5 would love to give a check. It would love to attack the black king, so you need to capture this pawn. Knight takes d4. It is not because of capturing a pawn, it is to open the d5. You threaten knight b5 fork. Therefore, if black goes king c5, it is still a fork. Black has to move the queen, queen c5. That's what happened in the game. And here another pretty move. There are several moves that win on the spot, but bishop f5 is really a beautiful one. That's what Vichy played. So if this bishop is captured, e takes f5, then knight b5 check. And after king e6, rook takes d7, knight d4 is a huge threat. Also the bishop is hanging and queen f7 is there as well. So black is completely lost. And if after e takes f5, knight b5, king c6, not king e6 but king c6, then it's just queen takes d7 mate. Therefore the bishop cannot be captured and we are threatening knight b5 check. So you cannot move this king, you cannot go to c7 because there's knight takes e6. Fork again. You have to somehow protect the king, for instance by playing bishop d5, trying to cover up, but then bishop takes e6, once again sacrificing just to open the position. And after bishop takes, knight takes, king takes, queen d7 check. It's important to keep the initiative going, giving checks, attacking, threatening always. Rook d6 check, and well, black either has to give up the queen, or if he goes king g5, then after queen g7, he's gonna be mated in a few moves. This would be the final position. For instance, let's just make this mate. I like this one. If the king is on h3 and queen e6 would be a lovely mate. So bishop f5 wins the game. Bologam went for queen e5, after which knight f3 wins the queen and he resigned a few moves later. What I would like you to learn from this game is that when your opponent's king is in the center, you should open the position, act as quickly as possible before he finishes development, and you should bring as many attacking pieces as possible. I hope you love this wishy game. Do you have any other favorite attacking games by the London Chess Classic participants? Let us know in a tweet. See you later!